What is up, Digidestins? This is Vindy Swartz, and I'm coming to you guys with the deck profile for X-Antibody. Make sure to Supreme Cannon that like button, Transcendent Sword that subscribe button, and let's get started. So first I'm going to start off with my eggs. I'm running 4 copies of Doraemon. Doraemon is just the best egg for this deck. I've seen some people playing one Pokemon for a 5th egg. I'm not really up for that. So we're just playing this guy just because whenever we add a Digivolution source to our Digimon, we get to draw a card. And this is really handy for helping us gain cards, with advantage. Next, we're going to be playing 4 copies of our tamer, Coda. Coda is like the best tamer that we have right now in the game for this specific deck until BT8 comes out. So what this guy does is he's pretty much just like Davis. We can reveal the top 4 cards of our deck, add 1 card with X-Antibody and its traits to our hand, and place the rest of the remaining to the bottom of the deck. He's really good because he is that memory setter that we need in this deck, and he's just an all-around good card. You gotta see him in order to get the ball rolling. With that being said, we are playing 4 copies of the Doraemon. Doraemon is just our Shabimon for the deck. On play, he has the effect that you can reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 card with X-Antibody and its traits, and 1 Coda Demoto from among them to your hand, and put the remaining at the bottom of the deck in any order. For his inherent effect, he has the effect of when one of your effects places a Digivolution under this card, under this Digimon, you get to gain a memory. So the best thing about this is that this effect stacks. So if you already have one in your stack, you use an effect that adds a Digivolution to that stack, and it is this copy, and it is another copy of the card, you'll gain that memory. So you can do it once, you can do it twice, you can do it 3 times and 4 times. It's just really good on how that ability works. Next, for the rest of our rookies, we are playing 4 copies of Sonorizumon, and we're playing 3 copies of Chumon. This is just really good, simply because Chumon is our designated memory blocker. For when opponents try to gain memory, we can play Chumon and say no to that. And then Sonorizumon is just really good. This card, once we get into our 13k thresholds, it allows us to get the security effect of gaining security attack +1. And then if we play this guy hard out, it will give all our Digimon with 13k that are black piercing. Next, for the champs, we are running 4 copies of Darugamon, 3 copies of Dark Tyrannomon, and 3 copies of Grumblemon. So the reason why we're playing Darugamon at 4 is because it is part of the deck. On your opponent's turn, whenever we have a Digimon with X-Antibody and its traits as our Digivolution source, or on the field, this Digimon gains blocker, so it's our designated blocker for the deck. The reason we're playing Dark Tyrannomon at 3 is just because it has that cheap evo cost of Digivolving for 1. And Grumblemon, you can't go wrong with going Grumble for game. Next, for the ultimates, we are running the obligatory 4 copies of Dora Greymon. This guy is just really good. I think this is one of my favorite cards in this deck, simply because when Digivolving, you can place one of your black X-Antibody cards and its traits under your source, and then it keeps it from getting deleted by card effects or having its DP reduced until the end of your opponent's turn, which is really good if you want to just bring this out and wait next turn to go and attack. Then it has the inherent ability of your turn. While this Digimon has X-Antibody in its traits, gain security attack +1. Just like the Doraemon, this guy, his effect can stack, and it's really broken and badass whenever you get like 3 copies of this card under your Digimon and you're swinging for +3 checks. It's broken. Next, to round out my level 5s, I am playing 4 copies of Waramonzamon. This guy is just in here for the same reason that Dark Tyrannomon is in here, because it has that cheap Evo cost. You can Evo for 2 and then Digivolve into your Mega, which is really good. And if you have a brick hand and you played your Tamer the turn before, you can play this guy for 5 costs, giving your opponent 2 memory, and it's just a really good card to start trying to set up your board with. Next, for the Megas, I am playing 4 copies of the Goromon. This is your bread and butter card right here. This is your boss monster that you have to play in the deck. You need to see this guy as much as possible, so we do run cards that help us circumvent that issue of not being able to see our Mega. But this guy is just really good. This is what this deck is all around. He has the effect on your turn for each card with X-Antibody and its traits. This Digimon gains 1000 DP for each card. So you can easily get into that 13k threshold for Sonorizumon and for other cards that we do play in this deck so that you can beat face and win games. Then when attacking, he has the effect of once per turn, you can place one X-Antibody from your hand into your Digivolution sources, and if you do, you can delete up to 2 Digimon. Delete up to 2 of your opponent's Digimon with play cost equal to or less than the Digivolutions in your stack. So your first turn is going to be play cost of 6 or 5 or 6 if I can, do math correctly. It's going to be 5, then 6 the next turn, 7 the following turn, and so forth and so on until this guy is just able to delete anything. Next, to round off our level 6s, we are playing 3 copies of Alphamon. This guy is just our alternative boss monster in his deck. A lot of people don't really like Alphamon, but I think it's really good. He does have the security effect of if he is checked in security, not only will he do battle with your opponent's Digimon, but he'll be able to, if you have another Digimon with X-Antibody on the board, he'll be able to make it to where 12 of your opponent's Digimon on the board can't attack, and it's really good for that effect. Then he has the when attacking effect. You can pay up to 5 memory, and if you do, you gain 1000 for each memory that you paid. So this guy can get up to 16k on its own, and then during the end of the attack, you gain 2 memory. So what I would like to do most of the time, if I do have the Digivolution with Sonorizumon under my stack, I'll pay 2 memory, put this guy up to 13k, that way he triggers the Sonorizumon's effect. That way I can swing for a security attack +1, and then at the end, it'll pay for itself. If I do not have the Sonorizumon, it's a-okay because this 3 cost pretty much pays for itself. With this effect of being able to attack and then gain the memory at the end of the turn, it makes it to where Alphamon's Digivolution cost is 1 instead of the 3. So that's really good, and you gotta love to see it whenever you can't find your Goromons. Now for the level 7s, I am playing 2 copies of Chaosmon. It's just really good. Chaosmon helps you get rid of anything else that you can't get rid of with your Goromon. It puts on so much pressure because it has piercing, and then he has the ability in order to restand himself, and then if you want to, you can swing over another Digimon that's unsuspended as well. It's really good, and it helps close out so many games. Next, for the search cards and options, we are playing 4 copies of the Black Memory Boost. This card helps us see our Digimon. This card is basically reinforcement of the army if you know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh! What it does is you can reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 black Digimon card from among them, and then put the remaining at the bottom of the deck, and then it has the delay effect, which allows you to gain 2 memory during the following turn. This is really good because it goes into tandem with the following card that we're playing, which is 4 copies of Zubagon Punch. This is just a really blowout card, and it helps us in games. It'll allow us to put 3k on our Digimon, and then once that Digimon hits the threshold of 16k, it'll have blocker, reboot, and security attack +1. This is a very offensive card, and a lot of people don't understand that this card is very defensive as well, because not only will it give your Digimon that 3000 boost, if our Digimon has 16k, it'll give it reboot and blocker, so once we swing, we'll have a big Digimon that they'll have to deal with, and that can block other Digimon. This is really good because in some instances, your opponent will have the Wyvern's Breath, and this card will help us evade Wyvern's Breath. So to go along with a Black Memory Boost, if we do have it prior to anything, we can pop the Black Memory Boost and have our Grumblemon swing for game with nothing. Like, it's just really good. But yeah, that's the deck profile. Let me know if you guys like this video. As always, guys, remember to supreme cannon that like button, transcendent sword that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out for now.